Hello, this is Daniel Mart back again. I'm an actor and filmmaker based out of South Florida, and for this video, I'm going to be reviewing One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, which this month, November 19th, is going to have its 50th year anniversary. It's going to be its 50th birthday, so best time to talk about it. And yeah, I'm going to be honest with you, One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest is just categorically one of my favorite movies of all time. It is actually my second favorite movie of all time. It's right there on my Letterboxd profile, you know, those 4 films that you have to put. It's right there alongside Titanic, City of God, and WALL-E, and then One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest as the 4th one in that. So yeah, I very much love One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. The first time I ever found out about One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, I was watching YouTube videos. I'm pretty sure I was watching, I don't remember the YouTuber right now, but I was watching basically a haul video, you know, a movie haul video like I do on this channel. And they mentioned One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, what it's about. And I was like, that seems like an interesting movie. And then, lo and behold, I found the DVD on it at Barnes & Noble's. At the same Barnes & Noble's that just shut down now that I think about it. So, more memories. And I've had that DVD 10 years later, give or take. Because it's been about 10 years, give or take, since I first saw that movie. And I've seen it, and I see this movie every couple years. And, well, I found out it was going to be the 50th anniversary. Best time to watch it. So yeah, I mean, this is such an incredible movie. I would say this is probably, not even probably, this just is Jack Nicholson's best role in the movies. Yes, he's done stuff like The Departed, for example, and The Shining, and Batman. He's done so many great roles just across his entire career, but I would just straight up say this is his best role in cinema in general. It's the one, I'm pretty sure it's the first movie that won him the Oscar. I mean, this movie cleaned up at the Oscars. It's one of the few movies that has won the big 5 awards, which is Best Picture, Best Director, Best Actor, Best Actress, and Best Screenplay. Very few movies have ever actually accomplished that. That just goes to show to how much of a monument this movie is. And, I mean, everything about it is just fantastic. There's really nothing bad about this movie, if you're asking me. This is one of the few movies I would just straight call a perfect movie. This is a perfect movie across the board. It is based on a novel. I did try to read the novel a couple years back, and I had it here at the library, and I read like the first chapter or two, and it's one of those things that I'm just not a big reader. I'm going to be straight up with you, or at least I wasn't a big reader back then. It is one of those things that over time I have become more of a reader, but yeah, it's one of those things I should probably go back and try to read that movie, try to read that book, the original book that's based on, and see how much it differs. I know the main character in the book is different from the movie. It's not RP, it's not Murphy in the book. It's actually Chief. He's the main character in the book, whereas here he's more of a supporting character. So I mean, this is such an incredible movie. I mean, let me get with Jack Nicholson. Let me get that one out of the way, because on top of this being one of my favorite movies of all time, Jack Nicholson, by default, is also one of my favorite actors of all time. And of course, this has a huge reason to do with it, but again, you also have stuff like The Departed and Batman and About Schmidt and all these other great movies that he's been in across his time. But again, I will say this, his best performance in the movies, he brings that element of crazy in his role, even from the first second where he's being transferred into the mental hospital, the asylum, and you know, he just goes off and kind of goes crazy. But he's also very much observing and analyzing the social structure of this new environment that he's in. He's seeing how everybody's interacting, and he's very quickly realizes, oh yeah, Nurse Ratched, as she says, she's kind of a cunt. Excuse my cursing, but that's the actual line. And we'll get to Nurse Ratched in just a moment, because my gosh, one of the best villains of all time in cinema for sure, like hands down, no question about it. But I mean, he brings so much to the role. Jack Nicholson, he brings so much to the role. Again, he's very observant in what he's doing. I guess you could say he is manipulating the situation, but it's also one of those things like he's just clearly the most adept out of all the, I mean, out of all the crazy crew that he has there. And granted, part of it has to do with the fact that he's not really mentally, like, categorically, he's not mentally unstable. He's just trying to game the system. This is something that they even discuss in the movies. Just trying to game the system. But it just goes on to show how he's observing the situation. He realizes where he's at right now. And yes, even though he's very selfish in his own ways, all for himself in his own ways, he is able to form these connections with the Chief, with Billy, with Cheswick, and Harding, let's be honest with you, and all these other characters, Martini included, and he's able to like just bring life into this place that realistically life the enjoyment of life has really, really been suffocated, pun intended, because of Nurse Ratched. And yeah, Louise Fletcher, she deserved her Oscar for this movie. Like, Jesus, like this is a performance for the ages. Just like Jack Nicholson, this is a performance for the ages. Louise Fletcher, this is a performance for the ages. There's a reason why she's often considered one of the best villains across all movies, because the way she is portrayed, the way she's written, it's all about control, it's all about power. She refuses under any circumstance to lose power. From the votes, hey, we want to have the baseball game, on TV, and okay, cool, I'll let you vote. The first time, almost nobody votes, so she clearly wins that one. But the second vote, theoretically, yes, Murphy won, but she wants to play semantics, whatever that word is, and say, no, the whole ward needs to vote, even though only like half the ward is in this meeting. Like, come on, bro. It's just that. She's very much a power-tripping villain, but it's one of those things that she holds the power. Most power-tripping villains, they're trying to get power. They're clinging on to power. In this case, no, she has power. If anything, it's because of McMurphy that she is now forced to cling on to power at the end. And even then, even at her most clinging on to anything, she still holds all the power, regardless of that fact. It's such a brilliant villain, such a brilliant way it's written, just the way you could just see through her crap, really, but at the same time, you're almost demoralized because you know she's gonna win no matter what. It's so beautifully written, in my opinion. It's just like, and in a sense, frustratingly written, but in a good sense, because you're frustrated with the characters. Like, no, but why? And the reason why is because she's purposely taking away power from the rest of the citizens, from the rest of the patients there. By the way, some of the most insane casting with people who are eventually going to become famous. We have a young Brad Dourif. Like, I'm pretty sure this was his first role. Same thing with Christopher Lloyd. Same thing with Danny DeVito. Like, these were like some of their first roles ever. Wolf Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. That's just kind of insane. You have Will Sampson here, who's, I'll be honest, I haven't seen any other Will Sampson role. I do know that he is considered a great actor and some of the other stuff he's done, but like just here where he's like mute for half the movie, not even half, for the majority of the movie, he only really talks to one character, Jack Nicholson's character, McMurphy, and he still gives so much to that character, and you could just see how McMurphy just has affected him as a person. Like, before meeting McMurphy, he was just kind of going through life, bored, not really caring, not really interacting with the rest of the patients. But with McMurphy, he's able to finally form that connection with some of the other patients. He's finally able to, even if with just McMurphy, he's able to finally talk about whatever is going on with him and McMurphy was giving him hope throughout all this. I mean, he was giving everybody their hope, even including Harding. And he didn't even like Harding, to be honest with you. One of the best scenes is obviously the boating scene. I think that's one of the best things ever in this movie. Him, like, if you want to talk about hope, him giving these lunatics hope in the fact that there is something out there. That boating scene says it all. Has one of the funniest lines, by the way, Dr. Scanlon, the famous Dr. Scanlon, that was just a hysterical line. And that's the thing with this movie too. It is like, I don't want to say oddly funny and comedic, because I don't really think it's odd per se, but it's one of those things you don't really think about this movie as a comedic movie or as a movie that has funny moments, generally speaking. At least I never hear people talk about this movie in that light. But no, when you really go to brass taxes about this movie, it's a very funny movie. And again, all the credit in that regard goes to the writing. Just a brilliant writing in this movie. It's just fantastic. And it's, again, it's just a fantastic movie. Again, from the acting to the writing, everything about this is fantastic. Just back on Nurse Ratched, again, she is one of the best villains. But something I noticed in this rewatch is that at the very end of the movie, when she's admonishing Billy at the end, after he's found out with the girl, with Candy, I would say from that moment on, and right before she gets choked out, we all talk about Nurse Ratched in the sense that, she's a cold-hearted, again, to use the film's words, cunt. She's a cold-hearted cunt. She's a cold-hearted person. She doesn't care about this, that, or the other. She was only thinking about power. She only wants power. And although, yes, all of that is true, I'm not going to deny that. I did notice something in this recent rewatch that kind of sparked an interest in me, I guess, would be the best way to word it. And that is that, look at her eyes during those moments. Her eyes during those moments, during the last 2 minutes that she's on screen, before she gets choked out. Every scene before this, she has this death stare. And granted, she still has this death stare in these scenes. But when she's talking to Billy, it almost seems like she's about to cry. Like, look at her eyes. Her eyes start getting, like, glassy-eyed. Like, when you're about to cry and the tears are not infecting, but, like, they're, like, rioting right there on your eyeballs. I don't know the terminology. But she starts getting a little bit glassy-eyed, and I'm very curious about that now, because I've never seen anybody really talk about that. It's not that I've seen. Granted, I've only done the research. Hey, has anybody noticed this in like the past 10 minutes, give or take, or 20 minutes ago, since this review so far has taken about just over 10 minutes. So yeah, I wonder if that's something anybody else has noticed, like, because she does say, hey, I know your mom. Like, I know your mom, and I'm kind of still trying to help you out, even though she's being very vindictive in the way she's trying to help. But it's one of those things, I wonder if her talking to Billy, and given their close connection, being a family friend from it seems like, I wonder if that's one of the few things that finally got her to crack. And yes, we did see her crack even before this with everything that McMurphy was doing, but those cracks were more so cracks of like anger and I'm pissed off and like, hey, I'm losing control. Whereas this one was more of a crack of, yes, I'm losing control, but I'm sad about what I have to do next. I don't know, I've never seen anybody talk about that. I've never really thought about that beforehand, but yeah, just something I noticed, that conversation she has with Billy, and when she finds him, like, she starts getting glassy-eyed. It looks like she's about to cry. And then she gets choked out. So, you know, then she has a whole different reason to be glassy-eyed and just about to cry. And honestly, to be honest with you, her getting choked out is one of the most cathartic moments in cinema, period. I mean, you literally just saw this kid, who you also personally know, even outside of this. You know his mother. You just saw him just commit suicide. You know, you're seeing the aftermath, and you're saying, hey, I'll go get back to business. This is what Billy would want. Like, no, that's just an insane statement. Get out of here. There's a reason you got choked out. I'm not saying it's right, but Jesus, it's very cathartic. Very cathartic. It's such, dude, this is such an amazing movie. Like, in a lot of ways, I almost want to be like, hey, to a certain extent, Randall McMurphy is almost like my spirit character, spirit animal, or whatever, to a certain extent. He's such a great character. Like, yes, there are some very negative aspects of him. At the same time, he's observant, and he's trying to do right, in a sense, even though right, it's by his measurement of what's right and wrong, but he is still trying to do right by these people and trying to give them something to live for. And that's what it all comes down to. Like, you can't be controlled under this oppressive society or oppressive government. Government in this case being Nurse Ratched. You know, he's trying to give life into that, and of course Nurse Ratched is going to be against that. It's just great. It's such a fantastic movie. I very much love it. There's so many funny lines. Again, Dr. Scanlon, famous Dr. Scanlon, that was hilarious. The whole scene with Harding trying to find the cigarette right before the whole chaos ensues, with Chaz trying to ask for a cigarette and all of that. That's such an insane thing. Like, again, I did mention some of the other actors who were here, like Brad Dourif. He did fantastic as Billy Babbitt. Of course, we know Brad Dourif as the voice of Chucky. Pretty sure that's the thing he's best known as. Here, I do wonder if Brad Dourif, I'm pretty sure the answer is yes, but in general, I wonder if Brad Dourif has ever done any other critically acclaimed roles outside of Chucky where he shows his face, where he shows, you know, himself, if that makes sense. You know, I mean, I guess Chucky, he appears for the first, like, 5-10 minutes, you know, in the first Child's Play movie. I'm not sure if he appears in any of the other Child's Play movies as, you know, physically speaking, not as a voice. Or maybe the TV show, but yeah, like, I do wonder if he has other critically acclaimed roles outside of Child's Play, outside of Chucky, where he's not just a voice, where he's there physically. So that's what I'm curious about. Of course, Christopher Lloyd, Back to the Future, let's be honest with you, but you know, he's somebody who's always done great work across the board, even outside of Back to the Future. I'm pretty sure he's in those Nobody movies, I want to say, but yeah, he's also an incredible actor, and again, this being one of his first roles, just fantastic. You want to talk about Batman, you have Danny DeVito. Think about that. Pre-Batman, you have Joker and Penguin in a movie. My gosh. Like, that's just kind of crazy to think about. And again, this is one of Danny DeVito's first roles. In fact, Danny DeVito, he was actually in the stage production of One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, because this was originally a stage production, and then when they were like, hey, let's turn this into a movie, Danny DeVito was one of the first actors they cast. They transferred him from stage to screen. I wonder if they had any other actors like that, where they transferred it from stage to screen. Not that I'm aware of. Either way, like, that's just a fantastic pick, you know, just get the guy who portrayed him on stage to be on screen, and that's just fantastic. And of course, he's gone on to do other stuff, like I said, Batman Returns as a Penguin, but he's also done Always Sunny in Philadelphia, he's done Matilda, which Matilda's actually a pretty great movie, all things considered. So he's done Twins as well, so he's done a bunch of great work, especially in comedy. So that's the thing, like, there's so much great about this movie, from the ensemble, the acting, the writing, the cinematography, like that last shot with Chief just running out into the sunset. It's just fantastic. Again, the boat scene has some great cinematography. When McMurphy first comes into the ward, like, the editing there and the cinematography there is just fantastic. Like, So much about this movie is just fantastic. The score is fantastic. Like, everything about this is fantastic. And it's, dude, for so many reasons, this is one of my favorite movies of all time. It's just amazing, fantastic, beautiful. It's such a beautiful movie. Kind of a heartbreaking movie, honestly, at the end because of what happens with him being lobotomized. It is honestly very heartbreaking because you have this free spirit, this wild spirit, who, again, granted by his own metric, but still, he still wants to do good to some extent, even if just for these people. And he was punished for that. And granted, a part of it had to do with the fact that he basically choked out Nurse Ratched. Granted, I mean, still, like, that's still a death in a sense, and then his actual literal death at the hands of his quote-unquote brother. It's just like, when you think about it, that ward went through so much hell in like 1 week. I'm assuming it's like a week when all that happened. You have essays on just Nurse Ratched alone. You have essays on Murphy alone, and just discussion topics on like the dichotomy of chaos versus order and what they each represent. And like, so much great stuff in this movie. It's fantastic. Just to talk about this a little bit, Ratched, the TV show on Netflix that premiered like in 2020, that was such a weird show, low-key, because I think the original plan was for them to have 4 seasons, and season 4 to end on One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. And I'm not saying it would have sucked. I actually think it would have been great. But just the idea to give Nurse Ratched a backstory was always kind of weird to me, if I'm being honest with you, because I'm like, that Nurse Ratched is not the type of villain that really needs a backstory. And it's one of those things that I haven't seen the miniseries since it first came out, so again, back in 2020. And Sarah Paulson, I believe that was the actress who portrayed her. Sarah Paulson, she did do a great job, do not get me wrong, but it's one of those things that it was such a weird thing for them to try to do a backstory to Nurse Ratched in general, and it never got picked up. I think part of it had to do with just COVID stuff in the mix. Granted, 2020, like, Netflix killed off a bunch of their series. Society, that was another great series from that time that was originally going to get a season 2, and then COVID killed that as well. But it's one of those things, I'm pretty sure the original plan was for season 1 to be the stuff that happened in season 1. I'm not going to lie, I don't remember what happened in season 1. But then season 2 was going to be the stuff with the brother. I do remember that the brother escaped the hospital. I'm pretty sure season 2 would have dealt with that. Season 3, I'm pretty sure would have dealt with the mayor, because I remember there was some drama with the mayor, and I'm not sure if it was like he just didn't want to fund the hospital anymore or something like that. I don't remember what it was at this point. And then season 4 would have realistically been One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, because if I vaguely remember the storyline. So I guess I could watch the Ratched TV show for that one season, but it's like, it's one of those things like it really doesn't make sense anymore, because one, they never really finished the story. They left it on a cliffhanger, which sucks. But it's one of those things that, again, Nurse Ratched isn't really the type of character that needs a backstory. I remember I was watching this and discussing this at the time, but if you're going to do that for a character who needs a backstory, do it for Annie Wilkes. That's also another nurse, by the way. Just call it Wilkes and kind of go from there, especially because even in the original Misery movie, novel, whatever, she has a set-in backstory. So if anything, if they would have done any villain to have a backstory, origin story, miniseries, TV show, whatever, it honestly would have been Annie Wilkes, not Nurse Ratched. But that's neither here nor there. I just want to discuss the Ratched TV show a little bit because, again, One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest is such a fantastic movie. It's one of those things, like, you guys really try to, like, franchise this movie, this series, but not even a series, just this IP. It seems kind of weird. There's really no reason to do it, but, like, hey, shoot your shot. Your shot failed. I wonder who they would have cast as McMurphy. That would have been interesting. I feel like it would have been, like, an American Horror Story actor, so probably, like, I don't know, Evan Lewis? Is that his name? Or Evan Peters. Evan Peters, that's his name, so, yeah, maybe him. I don't know. Because I'm pretty sure it was the same team who I'm pretty sure it's the same team on Ratched who worked on American Horror Story, that's why, so probably Evan Peters. That's my first guess. Although I feel like he would have done a better Billy. But yeah, that's basically it in that regard. Yeah, but overall, One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest is just by far one of the best movies of all time. It's one of my favorite movies of all time. It's one of the best Jack Nicholson movies of all time. It's one of the best picture winners of all time. Like, that lineup for Best Picture is stacked, by the way, because it's One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, it's Jaws, which I already reviewed earlier last month. It's Jaws, Nashville, Dog Day Afternoon, and oh my gosh, what's the other movie? I don't remember right now, but there you go. And Barry Lyndon. Jesus Christ. I just searched it up. Barry Lyndon. Jesus Christ. Stacked. One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, Barry Lyndon, Nashville, Dog Day Afternoon, and Jaws. Tell me that's not just an all-timer for Best Picture. Jesus Christ. But I just remember that's a stacked year for Best Picture in general. Like, those are all categorical classics. Overall, one of my favorite movies of all time. One of the best movies of all time, just by far. Some of the best acting, some of the best ensemble, some of the best writing, cinematography, music, score, whatever you want to call it. One of the best movies of all time, bar none. Definitely deserves all the awards it got way back in the day, 50 years ago, or I guess 49 years ago, because the Oscars would have been done the next year over. But yeah, just fantastic movie. I just want to talk about it, give it more its glory, because let's be honest, there's video upon video upon video upon video here on YouTube discussing this movie and how great it is and dissecting every single aspect of this movie. It's just fantastic. Such a great movie. Definitely check it out if you haven't already. If you haven't already checked it out, I don't know what you're doing online right now. Like, go rent it, find it somewhere, I don't know. Go from there and just watch it, like, right now. Like, honestly, I'm surprised this isn't on the Criterion Collection, if I'm being honest with you. I'm actually kind of surprised. It really should be. It definitely should be. I do know that recently the 4K, there's a special edition 4K that just came out, like, in the past couple weeks. I think one of them is like the regular 4K, you know, the case with the slipcover, and that's it. But I also know that there's a 4K steelbook out there that was also released recently. If I see it on the wild, I may pick it up. Granted, if it's just the 4K, I'm not sure, because I don't really buy just the 4Ks, usually speaking, unless I buy one by accident, like I did with The Crow, but that's a whole different discussion for now. Again, such a fantastic movie, Again, watch it if you haven't already. So much stuff going on there. It's just a fantastic movie. That's really the one word I have for this movie, just fantastic. Watch it. That's basically it for now. Comment all your thoughts down below on this movie, this fantastic, great, amazing movie. Just tell me how great it is down below, why you love it. Comment all that down below, let me know. And that's basically it for now. This is Daniel Mart, signing off.